What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Garrett Wilson extended earlier in the week on Monday. On Tuesday, you had the Sauce Gardner extension. And today, I wanted to come back on and talk about some rankings. So NFL executives anonymously ranked wide receivers in the NFL, and Garrett Wilson came in at number 10, a 10th best wide receiver in the league right now. But there was kind of mixed reviews on Garrett Wilson, depending on who you asked. So I wanted to go through and talk about each one of those comments on Garrett Wilson in this article. We'll start on the positive side. One AFC executive said that he's one of the best separators in the league, and just watching him over the last 3 years, that is something that is kind of obvious to see, right? Like, if you watch, I'm not even saying like do you break down all 22? Do you know ball? Do you have an NFL Plus subscription? I'm talking, you were sitting on Sunday watching the game like everybody does, and you see it on the broadcast angle. The guy is always open, and he makes a ton of plays, and that's why he had over 100 whatever targets this past year and over 1,000 yards each of his first 3 years in the league. He separates really well. He uses his speed and shiftiness to his advantage. That's kind of shifty is, I think, the best way to describe Garrett Wilson. Each wide receiver wins differently. Some are just absolutely pristine route runners. Some have unbelievable size and they just go up and rip away the football. Some are deep threats. Garrett Wilson is shifty as hell, and that's why he's one of the better separators in the NFL. There was an AFC Scout, though, that wasn't as high on Garrett Wilson, said he's all over the map doing his own thing on the field. Vast potential, but he's not close to what he could be. And I think that's maybe a touch on the harsh side, but there is still more meat on the bone for bigger seasons for Garrett Wilson. And not all of it's his fault. Some of it is. Like, I don't think Garrett Wilson is completely blame-free in this, right? Like, that's not fair. We could love a player, and we do love Garrett Wilson. I love Garrett, and I'm glad that he's a Jet for the next 6 years. But I think, there's areas in which he can improve, and, getting from number 10 on the list to in the top 5 would be a big jump for him. But there's some things, again, that he could work on. And again, some of it's not really his fault. We'll get into that, in the third quote that I wanted to share, why it's not really, some of it's not his fault. But I'm hoping that with going back to Justin Fields, someone he's worked well with in the past, granted it's a long time ago now in college, but there's that already established connection. And it's kind of not like, whether you want to go Zach Wilson, Trevor Siemian, or whoever. And then last year with Rodgers, there started to be some positive signs there. And then Davante Adams comes in, and Davante really ends up taking over as the number 1 receiver and taking the target share. And Garrett Wilson's production kind of dropped in the second half of the year because of that. This last quote from an NFL general manager, I think, is my favorite. This first line: he has produced in suboptimal circumstances. Put a pin in that. He would only grow in stature in another system more friendly to his skill set. So, one, working backwards now, it's on Tanner Engstrand and the Jets offensive staff to put him in a situation to be successful. We've seen him have multiple 1,000-yard seasons to start his career. He's in rare company with 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons to begin his NFL career. But the line that he's produced in suboptimal circumstances, that's why you feel comfortable giving him the $32 million a year. It is, he hasn't had a 1,400, 1,500 yard season with 12 touchdowns mixed in yet, but he's been productive with, do we have to go through the list of quarterbacks again? Zach Wilson, Trevor Siemian, Tim Boyle, Chris Streveler, Mike White, Joe Flacco. Was Josh Johnson there? No, that was the year prior that Josh Johnson was here. Aaron Rodgers. You have all the different quarterbacks that he's caught passes from. He's had 3 different offensive coordinators: Mike LaFleur, you had Nathaniel Hackett, and then you also had, technically Nathaniel Hackett was still the offensive coordinator, but you had a different play caller in Todd Downing. So 3 play callers in 3 years, 1 million quarterbacks. It hasn't been the best of circumstances, and he's remained productive despite that. Like, if things click, can there be a 1,300 or 1,400 yard season down the line for Garrett Wilson? I think absolutely. Can we see him in a target hog offense where he's close to 10 plus touchdowns in a year? Yeah, I think so. And it might be hard for him to catch guys like Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and, the elite of the elite class. But if things start to go right for him, and especially for the Jets offensively, and they're not a bottom 5 offense in the league, they're even, dare we say, middle of the pack, or have a quarterback who is able to get him the ball in the red zone, then we're going to start to see some growth, which is exciting. And Jet fans should be absolutely thrilled about that. So I just wanted to come on and share the different perspectives from around the league on Garrett Wilson. I know obviously Jet fans are very bullish on Garrett. I'm excited going into year 4 for him, and big things ahead for our guy G5. That'll do it for me. I'm Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you next time.